As we edge closer to those group stages in the Europa League, we've still got a couple of qualifying rounds left on the agenda. Some big clubs are in action, but will they make it through? We'll take a little look at it next. Right, folks, back once again with another prediction show. Today we take a look at the third qualifying round in the Europa League, part 1, and we'll get to that in just 1 second. If you're new to the channel, smash the old subscribe button to get you bang up to date with all things Europa League related, Blackburn Rovers related, whoa, football related. We're going to know here, boys, under a one, a Ruski. That's right, boys and girls. So, of course, Champions League has been done and dusted, or edging ever closer, but the Europa League is also in the old spotlight this week as we try to get through a whole host of matches once again. And again, these predictions will be split over 2 videos because there's far too many to get into it. So let's jump into it in just 1 second. A big shout out to the 19 patrons, boys and girls. You know who you are. That's right. So big shout out to the 19, the illustrious 19, Dylan Goddard, Tom Clark, William Shepherd, Daniel Mallet, Ultra Omen Muir, Curtis Wilson, LG and Cow, Bianca Mulner, John Spurn, Russell Frost, Nathan Higgins, Jack Wiggins, Jack Wiggins, Jack Holmes, Cosmo 976, Aztec Marking Mark, Cody Ho, Yoki Johansson, Olaji Ojo, and Omar Escabil. Respect to those guys for supporting the club. I do appreciate the love. At the Patreons, and if anyone else is out there that want to make that 19 into a 20, check out the old description. There's a link there, patreon.com/roverseas. So we're going to take a little look now, of course, at how I got on, and then we're going to take a look at how you guys are on in the old part 1 bad boys of this past predictions. Let's get into it then, shall we? Where are we? Let's jump into it. And boom, there we go. So my pickaroonies should be on the left. The real score will be on the right. And we'll have a look at how I got on. So Prognes Niederhorn against Wilhelmswij and the old Dutch leagues. That ended up as a 5-goal win for Wilhelmswij. I actually went with the 2-0 win myself on that occasion. The goal scorers on that day, I'll tell you, was Pavardis. He got himself a couple of goals at Saglam, Nunley, Che Nunley in there, and Mick Nindashemi with Wilhelmswij's goals there to give them through to the next round. Hammarby, they took on Lech Poznan, of course, out of Poland. The goal scorers on that occasion was Pedro Tiba, Jakub Kaminski, and Filip Makowinski as well. Jeppe Anderson got himself sent off for Hammarby. I actually remember the 1-0 win myself. Not too bad. The New Saints, they tumbled out. Shame on them. 2-2 final score. I actually remember the 1-0 win for the New Saints. But it went to penalties, and I think P36 Toshavan came out top. Prevojeviski and Radoslavovich on score sheet for Toshavan. Leo Smith and Dean Ebe on score sheet for TNS. Next up, NS Mura. They took on AGF. That was a 3-0 win for NS Mura. I actually went with the Danes on this bad boy. I'll try and find you the scores in just a second. There we go. 3-0 winners in the end. Jan Grognic, Kevin Zadzigzi, and Amadish Marusa on score sheet for Mura as they go through. Maccabi Haifa, they took on Kariet and they won 2-1. I got this one bang on the nose, boys. Bang on the piston nose. The goal scorers on the day was Jovio Ashkenyavsky and Nikita Grogashevre for Maccabi Haifa with Wagner Love. He's still playing. He's playing for Kariet these days. Goodness gracious me. Wagner Love chipping in with a goal there for Kariet. Next up we have Kaiser Zar. They took on Apollon out of Cyprus. 4-1 winners for Apollon in the end. I'll try and get the other goal scorers, and here they come. Thomas Deviacenti got himself a couple of goals there. Omar Atsiteli and Anima Mohammed on the score sheet with Kaiser's goals coming from England, something like that along those lines. But anyway, I won the 2-0 win for Apollon, so not too bad. Rosenborg's 5-1 demolition of Ventus Spills. That was a comfortable win for them bad boys. The goal scorers on that day, I'll tell you who they were. They were, of course, Dino Islamanovic comes to have a couple of goals, one for the penalty spot. Andres Agnes Konradsen as well. Carlos Hoser and Christopher Zakarasen on score sheet for Rosenborg. But the opening goal was actually, in fact, for Ventspils with Yevgeny Kolozonov. Dimitris Levinskis got himself sent off as well as Ventspils tumbled out quite badly. 5-1 win for Rosenborg. I went with a 2-1 win myself. Meanwhile, Renova, they lost a Hajduk split. It was just the 1-0. The one and only goal on the day was Mikko Kakagas on the 4th minute. I actually went with a 2-0 win myself. And Granada, they did oust Tutuk Darares, 4-0 win. I actually went with a 3-0 win myself. The goal scorers, Roberto Soldado got himself a goal, Kennedy as well, and Yangel Herrera with a couple of goals. Fabian Bengenga got himself sent off for Tuteres. I'd went with a 3-0 as well. Ararat-Armenia from Armenia, they did beat Fola Esh out of Luxembourg after extra time. 7-goal Bobby Dazzler. Jensen Martinez, Ale, Malson Limina, and Sergi Valunka got the goals. I'm just trying to look at this one. Who got the 4th goal? Who got the 4th goal on this one? I'm not too sure. Djurgården Pimentel and Stefano Bensel and Zachary Hadji on the score sheet for Fola Esch. All three winners. Not too sure. Actually, remember the 2-0 win for Ararat-Armenia. I thought it was going to be more comfortable than that, but they got through anyway. Next up, we of course I did all right. What did I get? 3 out of 3 wrong out of that bunch there. Moving forward, Lincoln Red Imps. They took on Rangers. It was a 5-0 win for Rangers in the end. Alfredo Morales got himself a couple of goals. Jermaine Defoe on score sheet. Connor Goldson and James Tabernet as well as Rangers cruised through. Actually got this one bang on the nose, boys. Bang on the piston nose. FC Astana. They took care of business against Buduknots Junior. It was a 1-0 win in the end. The one only goal was Vasily Terzic going in favour of Buduknots, and that was a bit of an upset for me. 2-1 win for me going the other way. Meanwhile, Cups, they did beat Slovan Bratislava 1-1 on the night. Penalties was the deciding factor. Akingengo Ungudongo, a late goal, 120th minute equaliser, but Zan Medved gave Slovan Bratislava the lead, but they tumbled out on that one. I actually went with a 2-0 win for Slovan. Got the right amount of goals on this one. Right amount of goals in the end. Then, of course, Spurs did squeeze past a Lokomotiva Plovdiv, a 2-1 win despite going down early goal from Georgi Menkenev. Well, I say early, the earliest goal. Georgi Menkenev gave Lokomotiva Plovdiv the lead. Then they had 2 men sent off before Harry Kane from the penalty spot, and Tanguy and Dombele levelled it or gave it to Spurs the winners. 2-1. Actually went with a 3-0 win for Spurs on this one. So yeah, not too bad. Nefki, they took on Galatasaray. That ended as a 3-1 win for Galatasaray. I'll tell you the goal scorers in just 1 second. Where are your goal scorers? I'll tell you. It was a 3-1 win. In the end, the goal was coming from Angmai Dingangi for Galatasaray. He got a couple of goals. Christian Lendiema as well. Mamadou Maboju getting the only goal for Nefki. I actually remember the 5-0 win on this one myself. Botasani, they took on Shengenja and they lost. So Shengenja coming through. Botasani tumbling out. The one only goal score on that day was Bertsat Imbrami. Ahmed Almini got himself sent off on that one as well. Ratarai, they lost. They got spanked by Slovan Liberec 5-1 in the end. The goal scorers on this one, I'll tell you in just a second. They were Kamoso Mara got himself a goal. Jakub Horabada, Mikaric Lubicic, Abdul Yusuf Halalel, and Jan Masakatic getting goals for Slovan Liberec. We were Angel Lengzegma sandwiched in between all those. Actually, we were the one who went for Slovan. Not too bad. Bodo Glimt, they did beat Sangriz 3-1 on the day. They came through in the end. And I'll try and find you the goal scorers on this. If I could see them. Where are you, Bodo Glimt? I'll tell you, there they are, right there in the middle of everything. 3-1 win in the end. Philip Senkenakel with a goal. Victor Oko Boniface got the second, and Patrick Berg the third. Next up, Liverloo Antal with the one and only goal for Zalgiris. Meanwhile, Olympic Ljubljana, they lost to Zrinski Mostar with a 5-goal Bobby Dazzler, a late extra time winner. And I mentioned Belgium got a couple of goals for Mostar and Josip Livinic with the winner in the 92nd minutes. Meanwhile, Georgi Ivanovic and Andras von Bangar got the goals for Ljubljana as they tumbled out. Meanwhile, Flora took on Reykjavik and they won. That's right, 2-1 winners for Flora Tallinn. That must be out of Estonia. Sapanen and Lendala getting the goals for Tallinn with Kriki Fukin Frongnavalsen for Reykjavik in the end. Actually, went with the 2-0 win for Reykjavik in the end. 1, 2, 3, 4 wrong on that bad boy. So that's not too shabby. I think I fall in the category of the straight face gang. And if that's so, you need to get in there 7 to 14. If you get 0 to 6 in the straight face club, 15 plus, you're in the top banana. Let's have a quick scan actually. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 for me. 13. That's the record. Let's take a look at who else got what there then. So Aragongo Arababa, he did all right for himself. Keaton Zamoni, he did top banana. Fair play to you, sir. Fair play. Screenshot Mania, not too shabby. Victor Carvalho, well done to you as well. Killing it. Fernando Garamundi also did top banana as well. Well done to you. Master Fighter, well done. Killing it as well. Imichalina Nosa Isa, also pretty good. Hansworth's coolest name in town, and he also did bits. But round of applause for Cody Cahoe. Absolute legend, because he's a Patreon, of course. And he did all right. Game and Charlie, not too shabby as well. Milan Kalagaligovic, he did all right. Whoa. Matt Gunner, not bad. Oliver Queen, well done to you, sir. Omar Esquivel, Patreon as well. Well done to you. Well done. Bossio Mata, not too shabby. Slaven Celtic also did okay. Yannick Buster, not too shabby. Gavati Gabrice did bits. Shane O'Donnell, well done to you. Killing it, of course. And Costas K. That is it. Now we're going to jump in the deep end, of course, and take a look at a first batch of games for the next round. Again, some of the clubs that are in this one might not necessarily been in the results because I'm not going to split them up. It's too complicated. Hopefully, this will be the last time it's going to come in a two-parter. We're going to take a look at Wilhelm Swire taking on Rangers. Now, these two sides have never played each other, according to my knowledge. Heading into this, Willem II, back-to-back wins for them, beating Hercules last round out in the Eredivisie. They also beat Nederhorn, Plovdiv, or whatever the heck they were, in the Europa League. So they come into this 2 wins out of 2, 9 goals scored in the past 2 games. Meanwhile, Rangers come into this on the back of a draw against Hibs. Of course, prior to that, they won 4 in the spin, including a win in the Champions League against Lincoln Red Imps. So not too shabby. In fact, they actually conceded their first 2 goals in a whole bunch of games this past weekend. Heading into this, the bookmakers' odds. I'll tell you what the odds on this one, just to give you a bit of an insight. 30-5 for Willem II, 35 is yours, 6-5 on Rangers are your favourites. These are one-legged affairs, and I am going to give it to Rangers. I'm going to give it a 2-1 win in the end to get themselves squeaking on through to the later stages. Next up we have Spurs. They're going to be taking on, who the heck are these? KF Shekendra. Now again, these two sides not played each other before, according to my knowledge, but heading into this, Shekendra back-to-back wins for them without conceding a goal in the past 2 games. Spurs heading into this comfortably 7-goal Bobby Dazzler over Southampton earlier today, and they also beat Plovdiv as well, 2-1 winners earlier. Before that, they opened up the season in the Premier League with a 1-0 loss to Everton. Heading into this, the bookmakers' odds on this one. What do we know on this one then? I'll try and find the odds on this one. It's going to be a little bit complicated. It's quite a whole bunch of games, but I'll try and give you the odds as I find them. 14-1 for Shekendra, 6-1 is your draw, 8-1 on for Spurs, red hot favourites. I'm going to give it to them as well with a 3-0 win in the end. Next up we have Lech Poznań taking on Apollon Limassol taking on Lech Poznań out of Poland. Of course, it's a very difficult one, this one. You could go either way, and it is going to be in Cyprus, of course, still no fans. The Limassol head into this 5 wins on the spin across all competitions, including back-to-back wins in the well, it doesn't really matter. They come into this and a win from the weekend over Ararat-Armenia, 3-1 winners over the Cypriot League. Meanwhile, Lech Poznań come into this 2 wins on the spin without conceding a goal in those next 2 games as well. So they're looking. It's going to be tough. It's very, very difficult to decide which way this will go. But the bookies odds, I'll tell you the bookies odds on this one. It's 30-10 for Limassol, 50-8 for Lech Poznań, and 21-10 is your draw. It's a tough one, Boots, this one. I'm going to go with Lech Poznań on this with the away win from Poland to get themselves through to the next one. Ararat-Armenia, they're going to be taking on Celje this coming weekend. Of course, it's a similar sort of form for both of these two sides. The Ararat-Armenia come into this winning their last game, which was against Fola Esch, a 7-goal thriller. They did come into this prior to that losing to Olympic Nicosia, or Omonia Nicosia in the Champions League qualifier. So that was their previous record. Meanwhile, Celje lost also in the Champions League qualifying campaign, tumbled into the Europa League this way after losing to Molde. Prior to that, they did beat Dundalk in the Champions League qualifying as well. Celje come into this having lost 6 of the last 7 matches in the Europa League. So they're about to tumble out at this stage. That's what I feel like. Do we have odds on this one? What are the odds? What are the odds on these one? Let's have a look, shall we? Ararat-A. What have we got? It's 70-10 for Ararat-Armenia. 23-10 is your draw. 11-8 for Celje. I'm going to go with Ararat-Armenia on this. I think Celje have gone as far as they can in Europe this time around. 2-0 for me. Next up we have Cups up against Sūduva. These two sides never played each other, of course, over the course of time, but heading into this, Cups looking red hot form for them, winning 6 on the spin. Meanwhile, Sūduva come into this losing, of course, against Tel Aviv in the Champions League qualifying. They also drew with Tallinn, but squeezing through on penalties in the end. Heading into this, Cups have actually failed to score in the last 3 matches in the Europa League. They've also failed to sort of actually scored at least 2 goals in 5 of the last 6 matches as well in the Europa League. So both these two sides, it looks like, well, Cups have been in the Europa League qualifying campaign for a couple of weeks now, whereas, of course, Sūduva tumbled in here, having lost to Maccabi Tel Aviv 3-0 in the end. Bookies odds on this one, what do we have? What do we have on this? Do we have Cups? We have 13-8. Cups are the favourites. 11-4 is your draw. 7-2 is your away win. I'm going to go with Sūduva on this one to upset the odds and knock out Cups at this stage. So I'm going with a 2-1 win. Next up with Fehérvár taking on, of course, Reims coming out of the Europa League. These two sides never played each other, but heading into this, Fehérvár actually 4 games winning run, beating Hibernians last time out in the Europa League, and they also beat I think the Pushtas Academy in the Hungarian League, 3-1 win. Meanwhile, heading into this, Reims losing 2-1 to Metz away from home. They did win in the last match in the Europa League, 1-0 winners, of course. But their form out in France is actually terrible. 3 defeats on the spin for them. Looking forward 30-5 for the hosts. 23-10 is your draw. 11-10 is Reims for the victory. I'm going to go with Reims. Of course, they suck ass right now out in Ligue 1, but I do expect them to get something out of this game against Fehérvár and go through to the next stages. Next up, we have Rostov taking on Maccabi Haifa, coming out of Israel, of course. Now, the Israelis coming to this 4 wins on the spin for them. Meanwhile, Rostov come into this a bit wobbly. Just 2 wins at the past 5 games. Those wins out in the Russian league. Heading into this, Maccabi Haifa have won 5 of the last 6 matches in the Europa League. They've also scored at least 2 goals in 5 of the last 6 matches as well. But Rostov are a tough opposition. I do expect them to give them some competition. 11-10 on for Rostov. They are the favourites. 23-10 is your draw. 5-2 is your away win. I like Maccabi Haifa. I think they're a decent side, but they're going to tumble out 2-1 win in the end. Riga taking on Celtic, of course. Now these two sides have played each other. No, they haven't. They've not played each other, but Celtic coming to this 4 wins on the spin in all competitions. Their last defeat was against Fehérvár's 2-1 loss in the Champions League knockout. So meanwhile, their opposition Riga coming to this 3 wins on the spin, and those past couple of games. Well, the last game was in the Latvian League, or Lithuanian League, wherever they play their football. We're heading into this, though, Celtic. What are the odds on these bad boys? They should be red-hot favourites, of course. 7-1 is Riga, 3-10, or 10-3 for Celtic, red-hot favourites. 4-1 is your draw. Celtic should come out of this with no problems and get themselves through to the next stage. 3-1 win away from home. Djurgårdens taking on CFR Cluj. Let's take a look at that bad boy then, shall we? These two sides never played each other before, but Djurgårdens comes into this 1 win out of the past 5 games. That win was and the Europa League over their last opponents. 2-1 win in the end. Djurgårdens actually undefeated in 9 of the last 10 matches in the Europa League, and they'll fancy the chances this time around against Cluj. But Cluj will be a different opposition. 13-8 for the Djurgårdens. 11-5 is your 6-4 is your away win for Cluj, and that's the way my money's going. If I was betting, I was going to go with a 3-1 for Cluj. Next up we have Mura taking on PSV Eindhoven. Now these two sides never played each other before, according to my knowledge, but Mura coming to this back-to-back wins. Of course, both of those games were in the Europa League. They haven't conceded a goal in those 2 games. Meanwhile, PSV coming to this one draw in the past 4 games across all competitions. That was a friendly, so it doesn't really matter. Heading into this back-to-back wins in the Eredivisie, so they fancy the chances. I do believe PSV will be the away side. Of course, Mura have actually scored at least 2 goals in the last 3 matches in the Europa League. Meanwhile, the bookies odds 5-1 for Mura, 2-5, or 5-2 is for PSV, red hot favourite. 7-2 is your draw. My money is on PSV with a 3-0 win, quite comfortable in the end. Next batch of games, we have Besiktas taking on Rio Ave. These two sides never played each other, but Besiktas come into this unbeaten in 3 games, drawing last time out in the Turkish Premiership. And before that was 2 wins on the spin for their beating Trabzonspor and Alanyaspor as well. Meanwhile, Rio Ave started the past 3 games. Have actually won 2 of them and drew 1 of them. 2 of them were, well, a couple of those games were friendly, so let's not get too much ahead of ourselves. But they did beat Banja Luka last time around, 2-0 win in the Europa League. Besiktas have actually lost 6 of the last 7 matches in the Europa League, so they'll need to turn it around. This is a tough old boost, this one. This could go either way, but what have I got on this one? I'm going to look for the bookies odds before I give you the answer. It's 6-4 on for Besiktas, red hot favourites. 10-3 is your draw. 30-5 is your away win on this one. I'm also going to go with the bookies on this one. Going to go with Besiktas with a 3-1 win over in Turkey. There's no fans there, but still, I think they'll have enough in the attack. Next up, we have Malmö taking on Lokomotiva. They have played each other once before. It was a friendly way back in 2017. It was 1-1 draw way back when. Meanwhile, heading into this, Malmö actually in wobbly form, just 1 win in the past 5 games. That was against Honved in the Europa League. Meanwhile, Lokomotiva also come into this, of course, in pretty shitty form as well. Just 1 win. That was over in the Czech League, beating Rijeka 1-0 win. Before and after that, they got some very, very nasty bit of form. So it's going to be wobbly for them to get anywhere near the next stages because they're just not delivering. 2-1 on Malmö are the favourites. 92 is your draw. Is your Lokomotiva, and 11-4 is your draw. I've gone with Malmö. 2-1 winners in the end. Yeah, I've gone with the bookies and I've gone with the form books. What about you? Make sure you get your predictions in nice and early. Then we have Sporting Charleroi. They're going to be taking on Partizan. These two sides never played each other, but heading into this back-to-back wins for Charleroi out in the Belgian Europa League. They beat Wagaram and Beerschot the past couple of match days. Meanwhile, Partizan Belgrade coming into this back-to-back wins as well in all competitions. In fact, 3 wins on the spin for them, beating a couple of teams out in their native league, and also sandwiched in between that, they beat a team out in the Europa League as well. So they'll fancy the chances on this one. It's going to be tough, another tough one. A lot of some of these sides can go either way, but this one, well, a lot of these matches are one-sided, heavily one-sided, but this one is one of them even-Steven sort of ones. 11-10 for Charleroi, they are the favourites. 11-5 is your Partizan Belgrade. 23-10 is your draw on this one. So I'm going to go with the Belgians on this one. That's where the bookies are going. That's where I'm going. The Europa League should oust Belgrade on these bad boys in the end. It might be tight though. It might be tight. Next up we have Rosenborg taking on Alanyaspor or Alanyaspor coming out of Turkey. Rosenborg looking good at the moment. 6 games unbeaten across all competitions as they head into this. Meanwhile, Alanyaspor also unbeaten in the past 3 games. The last defeat was over in Turkey. It was a 2-0 loss back in July against Trabzonspor. But of course, a lot's happened since then and now. Of course, the season's restart. I think it was the Turkish Cup. They lost to Trabzonspor in the end. The bookies odds on this one. Do we have odds on this one? 30-10 for Rosenborg. 5-2 is your draw. 70-10 is your away win. Rosenborg, I think, have the edge on this one. Going to go with the 2-1 win myself. What about you? Make sure you get your pickaroonies in there. Start we have Stade Bucharest. They're going to be taking on Slovan Liberec on Thursday, 24th of September. Bucharest head into this back-to-back wins for them. It was a bit of a Bobby Dazzler, wasn't it, last time around against Topola. 6-6 final score on that bad mental game. We'll probably have the scores on that one tomorrow. Meanwhile, Slovan Liberec coming into this unbeaten in 4 games. The last defeat was against Olomouc out in their native league. Difficult one, but of course Bucharest do have the history with them, and that's what's probably going to sway my vote. Bucharest are 12-5. Your underdogs here. 11-10 for Slovan Liberec, and 12-5 is your draw. So Liberec are your favourites on this one, but that's not where my money's going. I'm going with Stade Bucharest. 3-1 win over at home. That's what I say. Next up we have CSK Sevilla taking on B36 Torshavn. These two sides never played each other, according to my knowledge, but heading into this, B36 Torshavn just one defeat the past 6. That was against Brunkovic out in their native league. Meanwhile, CSK Sevilla come into this unbeaten in 6 games. Picking up a couple of draws in the last 3 games, though, for the fans of the chance. B36 have actually failed to win 21 of the last 23 matches in the Europa League. Of course, they come in they squeeze in through. The past couple of games, 7-goal thriller over Laveda, and also beat St. Joseph's earlier in the competition as well. Bookies odds will probably go with Sofia on this one. I don't see anything else. Going to go the other way. At 18-1 is red hot favourite Sofia on this one. 9-1 draw. 25-1 long shots for B36. I'm going big. 4-0 win. Okay, folks. Next up we have Hapoel Be'er-Sheva. They're going to be taking on Motherwell. Of course, tricky one this one. Of course, the Israelis taking on the Scots. Of course, these two sides never play each other according to my knowledge. But Motherwell head into this on a decent bit of form, winning 3 of the past. Well, actually unbeaten in 3, should I say. They beat Aberdeen just today in the Scottish Premier League in a meaty encounter over at Portodry. Of course, coming through via penalties over Coleraine last time around. Meanwhile, Hapoel Be'er-Sheva coming out of Israel. Just 1 defeat the past 4 games for them. Not too shabby. You could also look at Motherwell's form just like that. 1 loss the past 4 games. That loss was against Celtic. Motherwell actually failed to win 9 of the last 10 matches in the Europa League. They've also scored at least 2 goals in the last 4 matches as well in the Europa League. Bookies odds on this one. Do we have the odds? Yes, 11-8. Be'er-Sheva are your favourites. 5-2 is your 60-5 is your away win for Motherwell. I am going to go with a 2-1 win in favour of the Israelis, perhaps. Goodness gracious me, what was I thinking? It could go either way, but the bookies have that one, so I'm going to go with that as well. Next up, we have FK Sarajevo taking on Budućnost Bognognja. Sarajevo going to this 4 wins on the spin for them in all competitions. Meanwhile, Budućnost Bognognja just 1 defeat the past 4. The bookies odds. This one's a tough one. Could go either way. 6-4 on for Sarajevo. 5-2 is your Budućnost Bognognja with the 7-2 away win odds on that one. I've gone with the away win on this one. I don't know why. I think I was just bored of going with home wins. I'm going to go with Budućnost maybe for the upset. We'll have to see. Next up, we have the Sheriff taking on Dundalk. Sheriff coming out of where are they coming out of? Moldova, something like that. I don't know. Dundalk coming out of Ireland. I'm just trying to find out where the piss and hell Dundalk are coming. Where the Sheriff coming out of. They're coming out of Moldova. I was right. Anyway, these two sides never played each other, of course. The Sheriff just 1 loss the past 6 games. That was against Qarabağ out in the Champions League. Meanwhile, Dundalk back-to-back wins for them. 1 win out of Ireland, but they also beat Escalades last time around in the Europa League. Their bookies will go with... probably would go with the opposition on this one. Sheriff, 6-4 on for Sheriff. 35 is your 7-2 is your away win. I'm actually going to go with the away win on this one, going with the Irish on this to give themselves a squeaky bum 2-1 win in the end. And finally, this time around, we're going to be taking on Kaliasevic, taking on Dinamo Tbilisi out of Georgia. These two sides never played each other, but it's back-to-back wins for Tbilisi. 1 in their respective Georgian league and 1 in the Europa League, beating Konyaspor last time around. Meanwhile, 4 wins out of 6 for Klasovic, drawing last round in their top flight. Their only defeat was against Young Boys Bern in the Champions League. Klasovic actually failed to score in the last 3 matches in the Europa League. But will this be the way? Taking on Tbilisi this time around. Do we have them? Do we have the odds? I'll tell you in just a second. 23-10, your home victory for Klasovic, 25 draw, and even Stevens for Dynamo Tbilisi on this one. And that's where I'm going. I'm going with the 2-0 win myself. Make sure you get your own prickaroonies in nice and early for this time around, boys and girls. I think after this one, we do have another one more round before the group's odds set up and decided. But that, my friends, is where I'm going to leave you. Yes, indeedio. Be sure to get your predictions in for part 1 nice and early, because I am a little bit late to the game here. I am a bit late. I was hoping to get this on a Friday, but it's now Sunday. We'll have part 2 pretty much straight away, right after this bad boy, so make sure you check that bad boy out. And until then, though, be sure to give this video some love and smash the thumbs up, smash the subscribe as well. New videos every single day. I try my very best. It is quite manic at the moment with all the leagues kicking off and all that kind of jazz, but hopefully you can stick by with me on that one. If you also want to follow me on the old social media, check me out on Twitter and Facebook, and of course, you want to go for a little bit of extra push, you can have a Patreon. We are looking for number 20. Until then, though, I'll see you all tomorrow or later with the next one. Part 2 coming at ya next.